Greetings everybody, my name is Oscar and I'm the owner and operator of OQ Detailing. I'm also a professional detailer certified and skills validated with the International Detailing Association, and I happen to be one of the 4 contestants for the DIY Tour program season 2. And in this video, this is going to be the ultimate guide for cleaning windows on cars. If you ever washed a car, you know that cleaning the glass is the most difficult part. It's very tedious, especially if you want to actually achieve a streak-free finish. So I'm going to show you all the pro tips that I learned and also how you can clean your windows even in direct sunlight and still achieve that perfect streak-free finish. So follow us along and I hope you learn a couple things. Okay, so the first and most beneficial tip that's going to make your life a lot easier is to clean glass out of direct sunlight. The sunlight is actually your biggest enemy. It is the most detrimental thing when cleaning windows. And the reason why that is because of how hot the panels get, well over 100 degrees. In some cases, they reach even 200 degrees. Basically, what's gonna happen is when you spray your chemical, because of how hot the panels are, it's gonna evaporate the chemical and flash before you have time to fully work it in. And essentially, that's what leaves the streaking behind. So that's why if you can do it early in the day or late in the evening or in a shaded area or in a garage like here, that's the thing that's gonna help you the most. Now, if you have no choice and have to clean it in direct sunlight, here's a couple other tips that are gonna help you. The second one is you're gonna need 2 towels. So 2 towels is very important. And the reason why that is one towel is gonna be strictly for cleaning the glass, and the second towel will be used strictly to buff off whatever remains. We call this the insurance wipe. So this one follows the first wipe immediately to make sure that even if I did leave a small streak behind somewhere, this one is basically gonna buff it off so that it doesn't leave the streak. Basically, it gives me that final wipe to perfection. So using 2 towels is strictly important, and your second towel has to be clean and dry all the time. Now, the third tip when cleaning direct sunlight is you don't want to spray your chemical directly onto the panel. Why? Because as I mentioned, the panels are so hot that it's going to evaporate it right away before you can fully work it in. So instead, what I want to do is spray my towel directly. We don't need to spray a whole lot. And then lastly, when working in direct sunlight, I want to work twice as fast. So I want to work really fast. And the reason why that is because I don't want to give the sun or the heat enough time to evaporate the chemical before I finish working it in. So basically, I want to work so fast that I don't give the sun enough time to evaporate the chemical. Now I'm going to demonstrate how you would do it if you were in direct sunlight. So I want to start from the middle this way. And basically, like I said, I don't need to spray a whole lot. One spray is enough. And I want to work really fast. So you have to follow with your insurance wipe right away, immediately after the first wipe. And you can see here. So I will work super fast, make sure I get the edges, then follow it up. My insurance wipe. And that's how you would do it. Now to some that may be a little overboard, but actually it works, so try it. The inside of the windshield, the interior, it is the most difficult part. So one thing that can help you is to use a reacher tool. So they have these tools which help you be able to reach especially at the corners of the windshield. That way, it makes it easier for you. Now, to be quite frank, I don't find these the easiest to use because you have to put pressure like against gravity, but they do work, especially for people that just have a hard time. These do come in handy, but I work better when I do it by hand. But a tool like this might help you out. For example, if you have a Cybertruck, the Cybertruck has the biggest windshield in the history of the world. And I have a couple of videos that you can check out that I have linked about cleaning the windshield of a Cybertruck. And basically you need these because they're so deep that you couldn't even reach with your hands. So a tool like this does come in handy. Another application would be any sports car or any car that's really difficult to get in the back windshield, that is really slope or that is so difficult to get your hand inside there. a tool like this would really help. Now there's some, for example, on the cheaper side, like invisible glass, Stoner Car Care invisible glass, like this one from Invisible Glass, the Reach and Clean tool, it's fine. But there's some that are a little bit better, like this one from Autofiber. And simply the type of microfiber that it uses is a much higher quality. You can see here that is actually dedicated for towels. So this one won't leave you any lint, and it has a dual side of different materials, and you can flip it inside out and have two more sides. So these tools can be very beneficial for someone who just has a hard time reaching into the areas or just clean the inside of the windshield. So you would clean with one side and then turn it around, and same principle, buff it off with the other side. So you can use this to clean the windshield. And then the last tip I want to share is when you do the exterior of the windshield, you do a motion of up and down. But when you work inside the windshield, you want to do a motion of side to side, or you can do it vice versa. This is just the way I do it. And the reason for that is because if you do the exterior up and down and the inside side to side, then once you inspect, and if you see that there's a streak, by looking at the motion of what the streak looks like, if it's up or down or side to side, you'll be able to tell the difference if that streak was left on the inside or the outside of the window, and that way you can correct it. But let me just demonstrate how to clean the interior. Again, you want to start with the passenger side because the steering wheel's in the way, and the driver's side is just more difficult. You have more leverage with your body in this position. So what I want to do is take my towel one more time. I don't want to spray the glass directly. I want to spray my towel. So I'm going to spray. And then another thing is you don't need a crazy amount of glass cleaner. Actually, the less is usually better. So don't put too much. And basically, I'm going to start at the edges. So start by outlining and cleaning the edges. And I just want to do half of the glass, okay? So I'm going to do the edges. And then I'm going to work my way up, side to side, like this. And then I want to take my dry towel and do the same thing, but just buff it off, do my insurance wipe to make sure I don't leave any product or residue behind, so I don't leave any streaks. So we do side to side with the insurance wipe. And then I inspect. So I make sure by looking at it from different angles and using a light or taking the car outside, I'll be able to fully tell if it's perfect or what areas I missed and I need to redo. Now here's an inconvenient truth about doing the interior of the windshield. You may need to do multiple passes. You may need to do multiple passes. If it's really dirty or you're working in direct sunlight like I do, it happens to me sometimes. You may need to do multiple passes. Maybe one pass, two passes are not enough. But if you do this, I notice this really helps out. If after the first pass, the cleaning doesn't work out, there's still some streaks or whatever, here's what you can do. If you get a brand new, so a third towel, a brand new clean towel, and you just use water, just pure deionized water or demineralized water, water that doesn't have any minerals, no cleaner, no nothing, just water, and you lightly mist onto a brand new towel and just repeat your process that you've been doing. This time, I notice every time that I do that, instead of trying to repeat with those two towels, if I just get a brand new towel, I think it's because if the towel gets too moist or dampened or just for whatever reason, whenever I get a brand new towel, a third towel, and just use water as the final, every time I do that, I reach success. So I recommend you doing that. If after the first time it didn't get it and you're having a hard time, just drop those two towels, get a brand new towel, use just water that doesn't have any minerals, and repeat the process, and you'll notice you'll be able to reach success and you won't be stressed anymore. So that just happens. It's natural. So don't beat yourself up about it. It happens. But if you do that, I guarantee you, you'll be able to do it well. It does take practice, but with practice comes perfection. If your glass is extremely dirty, for example, it's a smoker's car, so people smoke inside the car or you smoke inside the car, and it has a thick, heavy film, then you want to actually start by using a panel prep. So a panel prep is a more aggressive cleaner that traditionally is used for the paint, but you can use it on glass. It's a great glass cleaner actually. A panel prep is gonna be able to break through that thick layer of smoke. Or for example, for dog owners, when the dogs put all their saliva on the glass, like on the side glass, which is very common, panel prep is a really great product. It's a lot stronger than your traditional cleaners. So I would recommend, before you start anything, just do a quick pass with the panel prep on a smoker's car that has a thick film, on a dog car that has a lot of saliva on the glass, or babies that just something that's extreme, like dirty. Then panel prep first. It's gonna cut through that grease, it's gonna cut through that grime better than anything else. And then you can continue with either your regular cleaner, or you can continue using the panel prep. It's totally up to you, but it's not always necessary, just when it's a very extreme situation, like a smoker's film on a smoker's car. Now, when it comes to cleaning glass, one important thing is not just using 2 towels, but the type of towel you use matters a lot. So there are specific towels that are better suited for cleaning glass. Can you use any towel? Technically you could, but if you want to achieve the best results, you have to use a specific or dedicated towel. So there's 2 towels that work for these situations the best and that are most known. So the first towel that most people know is a waffle weave towel. So basically what it looks like this. So as you can see, this towel gets its name from the way that it's basically stitched, or the pattern. It looks like a waffle. And a lot of people use these for cleaning glass. Now, for me, they work great when cleaning glass inside. The problem that I've come across in pretty much all the waffle weaves that I've used is when you're working in direct sunlight, they tend to leave this pattern that you see here on the towel. They imprint this pattern on the glass. So they tend to leave that. And it's not like a very visible thing. It's not like a very obvious thing. Most people would never notice it. But because a detailer like myself has a trained eye, I can catch everything. If you look at a certain angle, it leaves this imprint on the glass. Now, that may not happen to everybody, or maybe some people don't notice it, but it's a consistent thing that I've seen with the waffle weave. So I think they're good, but I don't think they're the best. The ones that I recommend and I always use is these ones. These ones have a twist loop. So they get their name by the way that they're weaved. So the way that they're woven is, as the name states, a twist loop, right? And you can kind of tell in the pattern. Hopefully if I zoom in, you can tell. So these loops is not like other towels where the microfibers are standing up. In this case, the microfiber, the way that it's woven, is looped. So they don't have the lint facing up like most of the towels. So for example, if you take a traditional towel or a cheap towel, kind of like this, you can see in this side, the fibers are facing up and they're kind of like pointing. So while you can use towels like this or any traditional microfiber towel, you technically could, you're not going to achieve the best result. You're going to leave lint behind, especially when you're driving and at a certain angle the sun is hitting. You'll be able to notice it and it doesn't look as good. A lot of people really don't like that. So a cheap microfiber won't get you the best finish. That's why these ones, because of the microfiber that is looped, it's like a circle. It doesn't have the fibers facing up and it doesn't leave any lint behind. So that's why these towels are great for cleaning glass. They're actually called for the window. That's the name of the towel, FTW, for the window. So these were specially formulated to clean glass without leaving lint behind, and they're very absorbent, which I really like, and they're super soft. Here are a few other examples of the towels you want to choose and the towels you want to avoid. So there's a lot of great towels like these Korean ones where they have very large plush fibers. And these towels are actually amazing when it comes to the paint. So when working on paint, these towels, because of the large fibers and because of how tightly knitted they are, they're super soft and they're very delicate when dealing with paint. So basically to apply a wax or a sealant. These towels, for example, this orange one and this blue one, these are great for that. But for cleaning windows, this will be your enemy. This will be the worst type of towel to use when cleaning glass because of the way they are woven and because of all the fibers. These will actually leave you a lot of lint in the glass. So we want to avoid towels like this. But there are other towels, like for example, this green one here. Sometimes people know them as like a diamond weave or a diamond style. And the way that they are, they're super flat, they're soft, and they're super flat. They have absolutely no lint. So these leave no lint behind whatsoever. And you have ones from like Adams here. These are like heavy duty. At first, they're very stiff, so they're hard. But later, they're very manageable, as you see. But same thing, these ones, as you can see, they don't have like fibers standing up or anything like that. You don't have any of those microfibers that are that will leave lint behind. So these two would also be great examples. My favorite ones are these that I showed you earlier. And I like to have the two different colors so I always remember which one's wet and which one's dry. Although, yes, after a while you'll know because you can touch it, but at the beginning, sometimes you forget. So to not mistake that, I always know which towel is wet, which towel is dry, and how to rotate them. Okay, so here's another tip for maintenance of your towels. This will help your towels last a long time. So I don't want to use a traditional laundry soap. Basically has different chemicals like dyes and perfumes that are gonna interfere with the microfibers. So this is not the best option. Could you do it? Could you get away with it? Yes. But if you want the best longevity for your towels and performance, you would stay away from this. Now, the second best thing that you could do is to get a laundry soap that is free of smells and dyes and colors. So for example, all clear, right? Or Kirkland has one as well at Costco that has no coloring, no dyes, none of that. It's just pure, clean soap. That one is good. But what I would want to do is add a little tablespoon of distilled white vinegar when I do my laundry. The distilled white vinegar is great, has great cleaning power, and it revamps the towels to its like new condition. So if I do use a traditional laundry soap that is free of all dyes and chemicals and stuff like that, then I want to use it in conjunction with the distilled white vinegar, a soap that is specifically formulated for microfiber towels like Rags to Riches. This product is the best solution when it comes to the maintenance of washing your microfiber towels. If you use this, you don't need to use the distilled white vinegar. You could still add it if you wanted to, but technically the way this is formulated, you don't need it. So this is great for washing your microfiber towels. Another thing is, if you use your microfiber towels with a lot of sealants, the towels that you have a lot of sealants with, you want to soak them. You want to leave them soaking in a bucket or even in your washing machine. Just leave them soaking for hours, maybe overnight if you can, a couple hours, and put some of the Rags to Riches on it and just let it dwell. And this is gonna basically help start breaking down some of the sealant that gets trapped into the microfiber towel. Now, if you don't do that, over the course of the life of the towel, you will notice that the towel, even though you glide it over the panel of the vehicle, it doesn't dry anymore. Like it doesn't pick up water. It doesn't soak up water. Most of the time, the reason why that is because it's trapped with all that sealant or wax that you've been doing. And if you do it too late, it might be too late. You might just need to get a new microfiber towel. So to avoid that problem, this is why using the right cleaner and also letting it soak for a couple hours would work. You could also get away with doing that if you put it in a bucket with rinseless wash. So before you throw them into your washing machine, you could get a bucket, put rinseless wash solution on it, and also that will help start breaking down the sealant to give your towels a longer lifespan. And then the last and crucial step is when you're drying your towels, you don't want to use, number one, fabric softeners. So in your traditional laundry, yes, throw your fabric softeners. But when drying your microfiber towels, do not use fabric softener. So stay away from that. It doesn't need it. And also do not put the setting on high. That's the last thing you want to do, because what happens is the temperature gets so hot that it basically fries the microfibers. So the tiny little fibers, they'll get fried. So when drying your microfiber towels, you don't want to put the setting on high. You actually want to put it at the lowest or tumble dry them. That's the best way. Yes, it may take a little bit longer, but it's the best way so that you don't ruin your microfiber towels. If you put your microfiber towels in your drying machine and you put it on high, do that a couple times and you'll notice that Again, your microfiber towels don't absorb liquids or water anymore. So if you're wondering, how come my towel doesn't absorb anymore? Most likely is because you fried the microfibers. I know it sounds funny, but that's basically what it does. The heat inside the dryer fries the microfiber and it's basically no good any longer. And that's why it doesn't absorb the water or liquid anymore. So make sure you follow that one because a lot of people miss that step. A quick side note that I wanted to add. These are all tips that have helped me in my professional detailing business when dealing with real life clients. But if you have a system that already works for you, then by all means continue using that system. These are tips that I wanted to share for people who are struggling to clean their glass or their windows when detailing their cars. So I really hope they're helpful to you. So there you have it, guys. These are all the professional tips and tricks that I wanted to share with you so you can learn a couple things and be able to clean your glass even in direct sunlight and get that perfect finish always. I hope you enjoy content like this. Please subscribe as we have a lot of other educational content that can be very beneficial to you. And also, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section. I am going to link all the products that I showcased and used in this video on the description part of the video, so feel free to check them out and stay tuned for the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. God bless you.